Hi you guys, this is Big Gaz from Part to Wembley. We have done the preliminary rounds and the extra preliminary rounds so far in our journey, and it has been magnificent. We have got our top 5 picks for the first qualifying round happening next weekend. Let's get into it and see what we've picked. So far it's been a fantastic journey for us here at Part to Wembley. You can go back and see what we've done so far. So first and foremost, we met Nuneaton Town after we announced them as our starter club at Part to Wembley. We also did a biography on the history of Nuneaton Town before following them in their first stride into the FA Cup as a new entity where they travelled to local rivals Coleshill Town. Now in that situation, Coleshill Town did come out on top with a 2-1 victory. And from that point on, we were then following Coleshill Town as per the rules of Part to Wembley, which we will also link here for you as well. Then getting to know Coleshill. So we went and got to know Coleshill Town. We learned about the history of the club and everything that's went on. And we joined them on their next journey in the FA Cup, which saw them travel to Worcestershire to take on Pershore Town. That was a comprehensive victory for the Colemen, 3-0 down in Pershore last Saturday. And now they're on to the first qualifying round where they will be facing Worcester Raiders. But what other games are available in the first qualifying round? This is a big round of the FA Cup. This is where the clubs in step 3 of the English football pyramid system are going to be entering. And there is a lot of big clubs at this level that are well supported. We've picked out our top 5 games based on big clubs that are entering, but also potentially clubs that have already had a little bit of a story to tell, and maybe even some games where there might be a little bit of spice. Hi you guys, it is Big Gaz here from Part to Wembley and coming with a big announcement. We are being sponsored for the month of August by Park to Pitches. Park to Pitches is non-league's local magazine. And Part to Pitches is brought to you by Through the Turnstiles of Non-League Football. It tells you everything that you need to know about non-league football. There's loads of articles written by volunteers of non-league clubs. And they have their new copy coming out in August. I believe it's on the 15th. We'll leave a little link in the description below. Also, there is a section in their most recent magazine, which has been written by Nuneaton's own Phil Kirkham around the importance of ground sharing at non-league level. But thank you for Part to Pitches for sponsoring Part to Wembley on our journey. Okay, and let's get on with our first pick. So match number 1 that we would suggest for you to go and check out in the first qualifying round of the FA Cup is the Everton derby in Lancashire. And the Everton derby is competed between Everton Laburnum Rovers and Everton Collieries. Now, Everton Laburnum Rovers, they are step 5 of the English pyramid system in non-league, and Everton Collieries are step 4. Both clubs entered the FA Cup in the preliminaries. Laburnum Rovers in the extra and Everton Collieries in the normal preliminary. So far, both clubs have a fantastic record in the FA Cup this season. No goals conceded. So in this round, something has to give with local rivalry on stake. And I'm sure Laburnum Rovers will be looking to avenge the last time the teams met in September 2022, where the Collieries secured a 2-0 victory last time they met. So if you're located in the Lancashire area, make sure you're getting to that game. We'll put a little bit of a location here to where the game is. It's Laburnum Rovers that are at home. So we'll post a location of where their ground is just in this little location here. Okay, and our next pick is going to be talking about FC United of Manchester, who enter the FA Cup in this round. So FC United of Manchester are a step 3 club, which means that they enter in the first qualifying round, and they have been drawn away from home against Rossington Main of step 5. What that means is FC United of Manchester are in a roses battle this time. They're travelling to Yorkshire, and it's sure to be tasty for that alone. Now, for Rossington Main, they have actually had a bit of a good run so far. They've got 2 wins, also against other clubs from Step 5. We'll post the results that they've achieved here so far. This is going to provide a very big test for them, a big step up. And from FC United's point of view, they're going to be wanting to avoid a big upset against a team that is 2 divisions below them. It's also been 14 years now since FC United of Manchester had their greatest FA Cup run, where they reached the second round. And all the way back then, they had a fantastic draw against Brighton and Hove Albion. Ultimately, FC United are going to be wanting to have another FA Cup run similar to that this season. Okay, and our next pick, game 3, is Halesowen Town versus Stratford Town. Both of these clubs are in step 3 of the non-league pyramid system, so both of them will be entering the FA Cup in this round. So the cup draw has done no favours to either team by giving them a lower league opposition. So one of the bigger teams at this stage is going out here, quite simply. Now, this is a game that ultimately we've picked for our list because it's quite close to us. I personally know a lot of friends that go down to Halesowen Town. They get very, very good attendances. They've recently just had 1,200 fans in their most recent league game against Real Bedford. This ultimately is also a clash of 2 teams from the exact same league and division, so they're going to know each other very, very well. They both play the Southern Premier Central. They're both 2 well-supported clubs as well, and ultimately they're going to know each other very, very well. So expect a tight affair. Probably a game that might be going to a replay and potentially penalties. Get involved. Okay, so game 4 is Averley versus #United. This is another all-step 3 clash, and it's been brought to us by the Isthmian Premier League. Now, a lot of people have heard of #United. They have a huge social media presence, and ultimately they have been given an away tie for this year's FA Cup first qualifying round. Or so you think. This is actually a ground share derby. So both sides, they play at a ground called Parkside. So # will actually be playing at their home ground, but away from home, which they ground share with Averley. So both of them are going to feel very, very comfortable at home. And ultimately, this has all of the makings to be a very tight game. And again, very tasty, just like the entry before between Halesowen and Stratford. So if you're in the Essex area, get down and check it out. It's not one to be missed. Okay, and our final game for our suggestions for this round is between Sutton Coldfield and Abbey Halton United. And there's a very, very simple reason for this. I don't know if you've seen the round on social media, but Abbey Halton United caused waves by their remarkable comeback in the round before. They were 3-0 down at half-time, and in the second half, truly rallied and turned the game on its head and ended up winning the game 4-3. It was absolutely remarkable, and ultimately, this is a game, if you want to see that FA Cup run potentially continue, they've got a big step up now from step 3 side Sutton Coldfield, who are entering it this round, and let's see if their magic of the cup can continue. What a remarkable story. Fair play to Abbey Halton, already part of Wembley legends in my book as well. Okay guys, and that is our 5 games to follow in the first qualifying round of the FA Cup this season 2025-2026. So if you're in the area for any of those games, make sure you go check them out. They're going to be fantastic. But if you want to continue our journey, we're going to be at Pack Meadow with Coleshill Town as they take on Worcester Raiders on the 30th of August. If you want to come down and say hello, you're more than welcome to. We're going to be there. But if you want to continue to follow our journey, please make sure you're following our social media platforms, particularly our YouTube channel. So make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you're giving us a like on our other platforms such as X, Facebook, Instagram, and also the TikTok or whatever they call it these days. But I've been Big Gaz. This has been Part to Wembley. Every legend starts local, so get out there and go and witness it.